Today we are in the grounds of Spynie Palace, the historic residence of the bishops of Moray. And what a fine building we have come to see remains of. Welcome to Exploring Scotland's History. Despite us showing you Bishop's house right beside Elgin Cathedral, that wasn't the Bishop's house. Bishop barely stayed there. This was the edifice that caught their fancy a few miles outside Elgin, and it would certainly have given them the solace they needed after a day's work at the cathedral, because horse and cart a few miles away is reasonably remote. So we know a Spynie Palace today, but Spynie was built as a castle and it was fortified as such. The first castle was built of wood, which doesn't sound very well fortified, in the 12th century, but by the 13th century stone buildings were beginning to appear on this site. And as we walk in here, this site really opens up. Must have been some splendour in its day. Good grief. How big a house do you need, really? The magnitude of this shows either how rich or how corrupt the church possibly was over the years. How do you amass enough wealth that this is your main house? And while we can assume that these massive areas were for the bishops, the kitchens where the labour happened were decidedly smaller. This meterage of rockwork was a 14th century addition, because that whole space down there wasn't enough for them. So what do? You just keep building. So this is the East Gate, 15th century, I think. I'm going to swing the camera up, as you will see a rather impressive slot. Like I say, it was fortified, and that was where your portcullis slid down. At the top of here we see two murder holes. Guards could heal lethal objects out to defend the entrance if required. This southeast corner tower would have been the residential apartments, and a few gun slots were fired into it for good measure as well. Like I say, it's called a palace. It was built as a castle. This is the outer defence wall, probably 17th century, so they were still thinking of protecting it sometime in the 1600s. As we look at this rather impressive tower, you can see some armorial shields, and that would have been the bishops David Stewart and Patrick Hepburn. We're about to tackle the 6-storey Davies Tower, built by Bishop David Stewart sometime after 1461. Wow. Good grief. Ooh. It's quite a high fireplace. I guess we'll go up a few stories and see it closer up. In 1640, an inventory of the tower lists 19 beds and 11 chamber pots. James IV could often be spotted here, gambling and nipping out to meet his mistress, who resided nearby. So from the roof, you can see how massive this place is. We're on a 6-storey tower built by Bishop David Stewart, and it's big. This is really quite good. I can't see it, but I think there's fields down there. Mary, Queen of Scots' third husband, the Earl of Bothwell, was Patrick Hepburn's great-nephew. Bothwell spent much of his childhood and formative years here, and also hid here when he was outlawed in 1567, just before he would flee in exile. So this is the viewing tower at the top of Spynie. There's a beautiful loch, and as we turn round gingerly, you can literally see for miles. The fishermen who provided for the bishops of Moray lived around Spynie and could bring their catch right into the palace when the loch reached the palace walls. Over time, the loch was filled with silt, and in 1808 it was drained to the level we see today. Yeah, this is just the end of the tower. I can't do that.
More spiral staircase?
No, I don't know what it is. The stairs go.
I made it.
Come in to see. I think there's a wee side room I'm going into. Oh, it's okay. They are in actual fact death stairs.
All right. So, all right. So it doesn't actually go up.
There's some very old graffiti, 1909. Wonder if they related to the McQueens in Open, or maybe the McQueens in Greenock.
1909 again.
That's him again.
Yeah.
So he's either been wrecking at it, or did he do a wee bit of extra work and do a wee bit of consolidation in 1909? Don't know. It's very neat, isn't it?
Yep. So that bit's listed as Watergate.
Yes, passage to Watergate, giving access to Spynie Loch. When we were up at the top, we were looking at the loch, and I thought definitely Bishops of Moray, plenty of Spondulix, bet you they own the loch. So let's go down.
Yeah, that used to be a sea loch, the whole thing. This used to be next to the water.
Aye.
So that loch would have actually come right up here.
So this would have been the Great Hall, and indeed very great. When you look how small the rooms and the kitchens are, that tens of servants were falling over each other, but it's okay because the well-heeled were sitting with plenty of space. I bet he's a Stuart, that boy.
He's a Stuart, you reckon?
I will check it when we get home.
What, because he's got what, a beard?
No, he looks grumpy.
Oh, right.
Area with a well, I would say.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yes.
It's like really deep.
I want to say 5 metres deep. It's 5 or 8 metres deep. I will check. I would say places like this have cut paths, but they've left the place mainly overgrown. And on a day like today, it is just flooded with different kind of butterflies. We've seen painted ladies and cabbage butterflies and orange tipped. There's bees and worker ants and absolutely millions of things about the place. It's fantastic because it's natural. The things get to live. By the 1600s, the castle was in decline. It was in need of much needed work. Bishop Murdo Mackenzie was granted £1,000 by Parliament, and that got a fair amount of work done and kept the place going till about 1689, when he refused to pledge allegiance to King William of Orange and his Mrs. Mary. And the next thing, William chucked them out of the place, stripped the whole castle of all its finery, and this is what we have today. In the 1970s, there was a push to get the place consolidated, but the first thing they had to do was in one of the eastern walls. The Covenanters had tried to blow it up. It was quite a defined bulge, so that was their first job, but it really is stunning. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Until next time, thank you for watching Exploring Scotland's History.